Joining us now for more, former chief Republican strategist and Lincoln Project advisor, Stuart Stevens. Thank you so much for joining us. You worked in Republican politics for decades. You've said that you don't recognize the GOP of today. What went through your mind today when you saw Speaker Johnson with Donald Trump?
Look, this is a tawdry spectacle of what happened to a once serious party. You know, you step away from this. What is this about? This is about Donald Trump having sex with a porn star shortly after his youngest son was born, paying her off so that the American public wouldn't know about it. And that's something that the Speaker of the House, third in line to the presidency, is standing in front of a New York courtroom defending. That's all this is. It's the collapse of any sort of moral authority that an American political party could have.
Playing devil's advocate here for a moment, Speaker Johnson was able to fend off a threat to remove him from office just last week, largely due to Donald Trump's support. Do you think that perhaps he felt like he needed to return that support to the former president today?
Has it really come to that it takes supporting someone of Trump's moral depravity to stay in office, to rule the Republican Party? What this is about isn't about Donald Trump. It's about the Republican Party, and it's about those Americans who can look the other way and think that something else is happening. I mean, ultimately, this election is about each of us. It's about who we are. Is this the sort of standards that you expect from a president? And I think overwhelmingly the answer to that is no. And I think that that's what's going to elect Joe Biden as much as anything.
In an op-ed last month, you wrote, quote, "The Manhattan courtroom will be the setting for Mr. Trump to play the role of a familiar American archetype, the wronged man seeking justice from corrupt, powerful forces." It's been several weeks since you wrote that. Do you believe that the former president has really delivered on that?
Well, I think he's trying to play that role. You know, no campaign sits around and says, look, the way we're going to win this election is have our guy stuck in a courtroom for 6 weeks, listening to excruciating details about his sex life. But they've tried to make the best of it in the sense that they are painting him as a victim. But I really think the Republican Party, in just a sheer political sense, is way overplaying this. When all of these people traipse down to New York to say that they stand with the guy that paid off a porn star, I think it's way too much. They'd be much better just trying to do something for the American people. What does this do? How does this make anybody's life better? And ultimately, that's what these people are paid to do. They're paid to govern. And the Republican Party, for the most part, is not a governing party anymore.
Given the GOP aligning with Trump in regard to his trial and developments in the trial so far, do you think that a conviction could ultimately benefit Trump politically?
No, I don't. I just think that, you know, we have to step back from this. Everything hasn't gone crazy in the world. We don't see a lot of people running on a platform for vote for me because I was convicted for paying off a porn star. You know, I've said this before. I think Donald Trump is kind of like a candidate walking around with a paper bag full of water. It's not going to leak, but if that goes, and I tend to think it will, it's going to be really hard to put back in that bag.
And just to put a point on this, because you mentioned this earlier, and again, I want people to remember that you are a former Republican strategist here. You believe that Joe Biden will win in November?
I think Joe Biden is going to win by a larger margin than he did last time, and he won pretty comfortably by the popular vote in the Electoral College. Yes, I think this is going to be a resounding Biden victory.
Stuart Stevens, we thank you so much for your time and your insight.
Thank you.